The story of history's greatest conqueror began at a moment when he was only 12 years old. A fierce and terrifying horse was brought into a king's court. The horse was so wild that no one dared to go near it. All the king's expert riders tried to tame it, but every one of them failed. Then the king's 12-year-old son stepped forward. He observed the horse closely and realized that it was frightened of its own shadow. Instantly, the boy turned the horse's face toward the sun, gently stroked its neck, and in the blink of an eye mounted its back. As soon as the horse calmed down, silence fell over the entire court. The king was astonished and said, "My son, this small kingdom is far too little for you. You will conquer the entire world." That boy would go on to become the greatest conqueror in history, Alexander the Great. In today's video, we will tell you how the intelligence and courage of a young boy turned him into the most powerful ruler the world had ever seen. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, because this story will take you on a journey of wonder you will never forget. Alexander ascended the throne at the age of 20. By 25, he had crushed the greatest Persian Empire, and by 32, he had become the most powerful man on earth. When Alexander was just 13 years old, his father entrusted his education to the greatest philosopher of the time, Aristotle. Aristotle did not teach him philosophy alone, he expanded the way Alexander thought. From ages 13 to 16, Aristotle taught him philosophy, kingship, military strategy, logic, medicine, and science. One day, Aristotle said to Alexander, "The world is nothing but a map, and you are the hand that will redraw it. You can change the lines of the earth if you turn your thoughts into a weapon." These words were not merely a lesson, they were a spark. Alexander's eyes lit up. He stood, looked toward the sky, and in that moment, he no longer felt like a prince. He believed he was destined to rule the world. From that day on, Alexander desired only conquest, not just Macedonia, but Asia, Africa, and lands unknown to the world. He decided he would rule not only with the sword, but over ideas, philosophy, and the hearts of men. At the age of 20, Alexander's father, King Philip, was assassinated. Some historians say it was due to a personal rivalry, while others believe Alexander's mother, Olympias, arranged it, fearing that Philip's new marriage might produce another heir. That night, Alexander became king. But claiming the throne was not easy. Enemies surrounded Macedonia, and Greek city-states began spreading rumors that a mere boy ruled the empire. Rebellions erupted everywhere. Many believed this young king would not last long. But Alexander acted decisively, crushing conspiracies, stabilizing Macedonia, and forcing rebellious Greek states back into submission. When the city of Thebes revolted, Alexander destroyed it completely, making an example for others. Then Alexander turned east, toward Persia, the greatest empire of its time. Along the way, smaller states were either conquered or allied with him. But the real confrontation was with the Persian Emperor Darius. Darius commanded vast armies, immense wealth, and a massive empire. Alexander, by contrast, had only a small, highly trained army and an unbreakable will. The first major battle took place at Issus. Using clever tactics, Alexander broke through enemy lines and advanced directly toward Darius himself. Terrified, Darius fled the battlefield, leaving his family behind, his mother, wife, and daughters. Alexander treated them with honor, telling Darius's mother, "I will treat you not as the mother of my enemy, but as a queen." This act shocked even his enemies. Darius later offered to divide the world between them. Alexander refused, saying, "There cannot be two kings under one sun." The decisive battle occurred at Gaugamela. Though vastly outnumbered, Alexander's discipline, strategy, and leadership led to another Persian defeat. Darius fled again, but this time his own generals murdered him, hoping to gain Alexander's favor. When Alexander received Darius's body, he was deeply saddened. He punished the killers and buried Darius with full royal honors, becoming ruler of the Persian Empire. After Persia, Alexander marched into Egypt, where he was welcomed as a liberator. Egyptian priests crowned him pharaoh. There he founded the great city of Alexandria, a vision meant to unite East and West, home to the legendary library and lighthouse. Alexander continued his campaigns until he reached the lands of present-day Pakistan and India. There he faced unfamiliar terrain, climate, and tactics. His greatest challenge came against King Porus, who commanded powerful war elephants. The battle was fierce. The ground shook beneath the elephants' charge, but Alexander adapted, isolating the elephants and launching swift cavalry attacks from the flanks. Alexander fought at the front lines himself, inspiring his soldiers. After a long and brutal battle, Porus was defeated and brought before Alexander. Alexander asked, "How should I treat you?" Porus replied, "As one king treats another." Impressed, Alexander not only spared him, but restored his kingdom and made him an ally. By now, Alexander ruled the largest empire the world had ever seen, stretching from Greece and Egypt to Persia, Afghanistan, and the Indian subcontinent. But years of war exhausted his army. When Alexander planned to march further east toward the Ganges, his soldiers finally refused. For the first time, they longed not for conquest, but for home. Alexander accepted their decision. On his return west, he married into local royal families. Political alliances meant to unite his empire. It is said that nearly 1% of the world's population today carries Alexander's DNA. On his journey back, in Babylon, modern-day Iraq, Alexander fell ill with a mysterious fever. At just 32 years old, the greatest conqueror in history died, never making it back to Macedonia. In only 12 years, he achieved what others could not in centuries. He conquered half the known world, not just with the sword, but with wisdom, strategy, and respect for his enemies. Thus, a young man who became king at 20 etched his name forever into history, a legend the world still remembers as Alexander the Great. Friends, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to our channel.